Hey guys, it's Nikki. Welcome to Scratching the Dirt. Today's video, we're just going to jump straight in and start looking at some chores. We're going to start with chicken chores. The first thing I'm going to show you guys is some little trick I use for chicken water. And then we're going to move on and look at chickens and do some garden stuff.
I knocked the dirt off the outside of these, but I want to show y'all something. This one, I changed it. I can't remember how many days ago, but I put apple cider vinegar in the water. Just 3 capfuls, 3 little capfuls. And I think this is 3-gallon water. This one, I changed and I didn't put any apple cider vinegar in it. And there is all this algae. You get 1, 2, 3. You get 1, 2. Now, when it comes to the 3 capfuls measurement, I'm going to be real honest here. There's no, I didn't find it on Google or find other chicken keepers that said 1 cap to 1 gallon is a good measurement. Jose and I decided to try it, and we were out here and we literally went, 3 capfuls sounds good. And so we tried it. Okay, that's all the science that's behind that.
Okay, so here we are looking at the goji berry that I needed to clean up. And you'll see as we go through this sped up video here that I started to clean it up and then I got distracted by the rest of the garden bed. I came out here on Sunday. Usually I would be doing the recording and things on a Saturday, but we had a little bee escapade where we got swarmed by bees on Saturday, and I just wasn't feeling 100% myself on Sunday. So I did some things that really didn't make sense. But you can see where the goji berry is actually growing up over the roof of, not the roof, there's just netting up there on the top of the run. And I didn't ever get to any of that. I did push some back. I did pull some weeds, but I didn't quite finish what I intended to do here. And at this point, I had forgotten all about the goji berry and had started pulling the weeds and then also the radishes and beets that were in this bed. A few radishes were left from earlier, and the beets were not doing anything. At one point, I think I show you real quick that they weren't doing anything. So this was me cleaning up this bed.
Okay, a couple of things I want to show y'all. Number 1, I found this. It's a radish, but look at the bottom of that root. I've never seen anything like that. I don't really know what happened here, but I thought it was interesting. So I was going to show it to you. And then the second thing is I finished pulling everything out of there, all the beets and radishes and stuff. And I went in, I walked into the back of the bed to get some weeds. And I pulled up this little chunk. It's coreopsis. I had trimmed off the coreopsis because it was flattened over because of the goji berry. And I was sitting there thinking about the fact that I may want to try to dig that up and put that in the flower bed over there. But then this little chunk came out, and then there was a separate chunk that just pulled right up. So I don't know if these are going to make it, but I'm going to put these on the other side. I'm going to see if they will, because this coreopsis here is eventually going to be overtaken by the goji berry. Sorry, that thing's full of sweat already, so it's not helping at all. Yeah, I'm going to try and see if it works. I love the coreopsis. I didn't know the goji berries were going to do what they've done when they got bigger, and I didn't know the coreopsis was going to get so big. Those are both things that I bought the first year we were here, and this year they both took off. Unfortunately, they were too close together for them to both take off, and the coreopsis got smushed down. So I'm going to try it and see if these will come back. If they will, I'll be excited. And if they do, then I'll probably come in here and take the rest of this and move it to so that I can have multiple coreopsis instead of one smushed coreopsis. But let me move. So that's where we are now. Most of it has been removed. Some of it's going to the chickens, or already went to the chickens. But all that's left in there is carrots. There's more goji berry at the back. My one little sad gardenia that's trying to make it. But this is where we are with this. I'm gonna run these sprinklers. I'm gonna actually tap them back down. I can see where I accidentally pulled them up a little bit. I'm gonna run them and let this side get some water, because there's that bed over there too that you could get some water. I'm gonna let them get some water. I'm gonna get me some water, and then we'll see what's next. Here are the coreopsis. There's that little one, and there's the bigger bunch. There's the coreopsis. They're over here in the cucumber bed. They look like they're making it. I have a problem in this flower bed, this beautiful flower bed. So I really like the look of when things are crammed together. I like it that this part of this flower bed is just crammed. Everything grew up big. There's the yarrow here that goes into the borage, that goes into the marigold, that goes into the other borage. And then there were snapdragons in the middle, but they're already done. Then that goes into this, whatever this is, the one we propagated, into the coleus. And here's my problem. I've got all this. So these are seeds I planted. I can't remember what they are, but I know they're flowers. And this little guy is my chamomile. Oh, shoot. I forgot borage is pokey. That's my chamomile, and it's just getting swallowed up. And this is my nasturtium that needs to come out. So I'm going to take Mr. Chamomile and put him here in the corner, so that then hopefully when the chamomile gets big, it will fill up this whole corner. So let's do that. Okay, so this is our nasturtium. He didn't make it. And nasturtiums are one of those things that I keep trying to grow. I still have a couple alive, but they're in pots, so we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna, I know from this angle you probably can't, all I'm doing is I'm making a hole here in the corner. And I'm actually gonna make it kind of close to the corner because the chamomile should grow kind of up, and it has like those thin little branches and it will just spill over, which I love. The yarrow's doing that on the other side, and I love that like spillover look. So finding weeds, but I'm just making kind of a hole here. And then I'm going to come in and see. Yeah, that popped right out pretty easily. So, and then I'm just going to move him over right here. When I'm working with plants, except for the pokey kinds like the borage, zucchini, cucumber, the kinds that okra, they actually make my skin break out, and they hurt. They poke a little bit. But anything else, I usually, if I'm in the dirt, I'm not wearing gloves. I feel like when I'm wearing gloves, I can't feel the plant. I can't feel what I'm doing. So I always get dirt under my fingernails. I always feel really accomplished with that. Something about dirt under the fingernails. I love it. Okay. Woo. So chamomile's moved. I'm going to water it in and on to the next thing. It's been a week, well, 6 days, and it looks like we may have lost it. There's some green left, but I don't have high hopes. If you remember how I said I loved the way this stuff looks good crammed together, I realized tonight that this marigold right here, this big one, was like flopped over here, which had flopped on top of the borage, which was crowding out the yarrow. It was all just like flopped. So I pulled this up. Jose put this stick here. We're going to see if the borage and the yarrow and everything will kind of correct themselves and come back up. What I don't want though is this crowding out the coleus. So I may actually snip those. I'm going to look at it tomorrow and see what it does with some sun. see which way it grows. I hate to do it, but this portion of this bed is supposed to be tomatoes, but the marigold is overtaking everything. So I'm going to actually trim this marigold. This one over here is looking too big, and this one is looking too big. So this is supposed to be a pepper bed, which there are peppers here, here, here. There's also eggplant that somehow I threw in there. There's a volunteer tomatillo here that I just let go. Volunteer tomato. And then these are the greens that I planted for pest deterrents, which they aren't really getting eaten up very much. So I think the marigolds are actually doing their job really well. So I'm going to have to trim some marigold. I hate to do it because I love marigolds. But the dill in here is important to me. I want the dill to make it. I want the peppers to make it. So I'm going to see if I can trim these without making them look horrible. So this is the marigold we just looked at. And the water's running, you can see a little bit, but I trimmed out all the bottom here. So I don't know if that actually is going to help this situation up here. I think with some better staking, though, we might be okay. And then I did the same for this one. I just trimmed out the bottom. And then I'm going to walk through here because I still have my little bench up. This one, I took a lot out of it. That last branch I took out of there actually was massive. It filled in this whole area. So now the pepper's got a little more space. The pepper over there has a little more space. This one, I took the bottom out too. So I do need to go check. I don't think I turned the water all the way up. I need to go check the pressure and let this run for a little bit. But I did get some, and I walked right past it. I got a better stake on this boy. So this one that was like leaning over into the walkway, he's now up, which is great. He's got tomatoes on him in there. You can see the tomatoes. So, and there's some more here. So I'm super excited about that. I've got this big handful of marigolds, and there's a few greens leaves in here too. I had to trim out the marigolds because they were taking over my tomatoes and peppers. So the run is going to get some marigolds. So not only will the girls eat some of this, but also the same pest deterrents that we use them in the garden for will apply here. So obviously it won't last long. These girls will take care of it pretty quick. But they've gotten quite a bit today. Quite a bit of garden treats. So this might be the last thing I give them today. But they like them. Tell me about it. Look at the San Marzanos real quick. Well, it's kind of hard to see. With the eye, I can see it real easily, but there's some tomatoes in there. One down there, maybe you can see. There's tomatoes right here. There's tomatoes over here. So these guys in this row are doing the best of all my tomatoes. The zucchini, we tried to stake them up, and I was real worried about them at first. I think I have a video that I took where I talked about how I was worried about it. But they are recovering really well, and they actually need, this last one didn't get staked because it has room to spill out over where the potatoes are, but looks like we didn't stake that one either. But these three for sure got staked. And I went in the other night and I trimmed out a bunch of the lower leaves that were touching the ground. You can see where I trimmed off a lot. They look like they're doing great. And I just saw a baby zucchini in here. And then there's quite a few blooms today. So I think we're going to be good. I think we learned a lesson here to stake our zucchini from the get-go. It's my first year to grow eggplant of any sort. So these are my first ever eggplant flowers. So excited. Can't wait to see what they do. There's one in the middle there that doesn't have a flower. And there's a couple over here that don't have flowers. But that's okay. We got our first eggplant flowers.
Okay, this last bit is a kind of quick, very sped up tour of the garden as it was. It would probably be about 3 or 4 days before this video posts on YouTube. And my original intention was to speed it up and then kind of talk about things as we saw them on the screen. But I don't know yet how to watch the video while I'm recording a voiceover. So I'm going to just let you know what it is. And this is going to be the last thing in the video. We'll finish it out just with music instead of a voiceover. But it's just me going from the first thing you saw, which was the okra and green beans, going over to the cucumber, more okra, the different beds. And then I just kind of go down from bed to bed and row to row and just show you the progress of everything, where everything is at. And when anything had something growing on it, there was a fruit growing, I tried to kind of get a close up of that. But it's just where we are. This was probably June 12th, maybe, like almost mid-June, and this is where we are with the growing and what we're getting. We are getting harvests from a lot of things, which I'm excited about, especially now that okra has started coming in. I love okra and I love pickling okra. So I'm just going to let you watch out the rest of this little garden tour, and that's going to be it for this week's video. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for watching me uh, play with the chickens or take care of the chickens and take care of the garden. And hopefully you enjoyed seeing a view of everything, seeing some of the tasks that I do on a weekly basis. But if you'd like to subscribe, that'd be great. Come along with this journey as I get better at all of these things. Hit the notifications if you want to know when I post again. Like this video, share it with a friend if you'd like. But I will see you definitely next week. Until then, keep scratching that dirt.